there, this is Vahid from VRF Education channel, and welcome to the second session of database programming in Python. In previous session, we learned how to create a database, connect to it, and create table inside it. After creating tables, we need to insert something or some data inside tables. And after that, we can do other type of operations on data. So first step is to insert some data inside tables. For this purpose, we have two different ways. We can insert rows one by one, or we can insert all the rows at the same time using executemany method. And also, we're going to learn how to pass parameters or our data as parameters for our SQL commands. It's preferred way when we want to insert data inside database or inside tables. Okay, let's go to VS Code and see how we can insert rows or tuples inside a table. Okay, let's go and insert a couple of rows into our students table. If you didn't watch the previous session, I recommend to watch it first and then continue on this one. And when I review previous session, I realized that I forgot to tell you something important. When you're done with cursor object, you need to close it, just like connection that we did here. So here, for example, after committing your transaction, well, I need to say cursor.close. Call close method on cursor object also. So that's it. So here we have create tables. We don't need it anymore in this session. We already have the table, but you need to use it in your application. Always check for the table existence. Okay, here we need to write insert into a statement, SQL command into a variable, and then try to execute it using cursor object. So I have a variable named insert query, and it's equal to something. Okay, what was that? It's insert into students, and then we need to specify columns, and after that values, and then we need to specify values. So here I'm going to say I have an ID, a name, email, and register underline date. These are the fields that I want to have with my students. So for ID, I want to use 1. For name, I'm going to use my name, and for email, I'm going to use my email. Oops. And for date, I'm going to say 2023-08-29th. I guess 29th. And finally, nothing. It's okay. So here we create a connection. So we connect to a database and we get a cursor object. So I'm going to say cursor dot execute and then pass this query or statement for this method. And I can save the result into a method or a variable named count, and we can make use of this result in future. And here we need to say connection.commit. So we commit change, and every time you need to do some or apply some changes to your database, such as deletion, update rows or a couple of rows, or insert something into your tables, you need to commit after you call the executes. And after that, I'm going to say print some rows inserted. So that's it. And here we can use cursor dot row count. Every time we send a command to our database and it's going to change some rows inside our tables, this field gonna return how many fields updated. And after that, we need to close the cursor. So that's it. Let's run the application and see the output. We have an error. Table student has no column named email. So let's see what we have. Yeah, I missed a spell this field. So let's correct it. And I'm gonna delete this table. So we can alter it, and I'm going to talk about alter the table structure in future sessions. And let's uncomment this line, create tables. So again, I'm going to run the application. This time we connected to DB, table created, one row inserted, and connection closed. That's it. And let's see the real data inside our SQL database. For students, yeah, we have one Wahid and rahmatfatsallife.com, and this is our registered date. So what if I run this application one more time? It says error table hardware already exists. Well, I forgot to comment these lines. Well, let's comment these create tables. This was for previous session. I'm going to run it. So it said unique constraint failed. A student ID is the primary key of our table, and we try to insert duplicate key for that. So I'm going to change it to 2, and this one, for example, Sarah, and this is, for example, Sarah at SQLite, Sarah at SQLite.com, and the date is 09/01/2022. So that's it, and let's run it one more time. It says, okay, one row inserted, and if we check it here, it says, yeah, we have 2 rows right now. So this is the simplest way that we can insert something into our tables, but it's not very useful, and it might bring us a couple of issues. We provide some constant values here. We don't want it. Our application should be dynamic and get input from the user. So let's see how we can change the way that we are going to insert data into a table. Okay, let's reorganize our codes. I'm gonna create another method. The name is insert underline, or let's type it like this: insert student, and here I need to receive an ID, a name, email, and register underline date. So user should provide this information for me. So I'm gonna insert it into the table. Now I'm gonna copy these lines. Let's copy all of them. Make a copy, and okay, let's just make it the body of our method. So here we start a connection, or we connect to a database, we get a cursor, connect to DB, insert into command. We have it here, and let's move this part out. Here, instead of hard coding the values, I'm going to use some parameters. So by using parameters, we somehow prevent from SQL injection. Here I'm telling the SQLite engine or driver that please insert something to the table, and the value will be provided for you in a tuple. So here I'm gonna say we have something for these values, and for this. So this is it. And then here I'm gonna create a tuple. Well, let's call it data underline tuple, and I'm gonna create a tuple based on these parameter, email, and register underline date. So that's a tuple, and then I'm gonna say, okay, execute this command using this data tuple. So it says this is the data for this insert command, and whenever you find a question mark, go ahead and pick one value from this tuple and place it here inside these command, and then go ahead and insert the data, commit it, and close the cursor and close the connection, etc. So here I'm going to say insert a student. The ID is 3, the name is Amin, and the email is amin@gmail.com, and registered date is, for example, 2019-0505, and I'm going to duplicate it with ID 4. Insert Mary, Mary, email is mary@gmail.com, and it's 2021. Okay, let's see the output. It says connect to DB, one row inserted, connection closed. Again, connected to DB, one row inserted, and connection closed. And let's see real data inside our database. And here we have ID 3 and 4 in our table. So that's it. Here we created a function and parameterized our insert statement. It's the best way to use a parameter to insert something into database instead of, for example, writing a code like this. I'm going to insert it something like this, ID and etc. Although it works, it's not recommended to use this way. You need to say it's a parameter, and I'm gonna give you the value for these parameters very soon in the execute method. Now let's see what's the problem here. Imagine that I have a list of items, a list of students. I want to insert them, and I already collect all the data inside a list of tuples. Okay, here I can have a for loop here and iterate over that list and pass each tuple one at a time, and use this method to insert it into the database. So here we need to connect to database, insert rows, close the connection, and cursor again and again and again, do this process. Okay, but we have another method inside the cursor. It says executemany. It's going to execute a couple of items or execute that this specific command through a list of items. Let's see how it's going to work. I'm going to make a copy of this method and insert it and paste it one more time. Here I'm going to change it to insert students, and this time instead of receiving these items, these parameters one by one, I'm gonna say, please give me a record list. Okay, now I just connect to database, get a cursor, and initialize insert statement. Here, instead of this tuple, I don't need this tuple because I already received it from input using record list, and this time I'm gonna say execute many insert command through this record list. So it's going to iterate over the list of data inside record list in the background, and after that we're gonna commit and then get the row count. This time we have rows greater than 1, and then cursor close, etc. So here I'm gonna comment these two lines, and I'm gonna say records to insert equal to a list of items. Here I have a couple of tuples, 3 items. I have ID 4, so I'm gonna continue on ID 5. The name is the name is Ali. Email is ali@yahoo.com, and the date is, for example, 2020 01/01. Let's duplicate it, and it's 6, it's 7. ID for ID Ali Reza, and this time Maryam, Ali Reza, Maryam. And let's the date be as it is. So I'm going to say insert students this time and pass these records to insert to this function. Now we here receive the parameter record list, and try to run this insert statement over this list. Now let's see what we have as an output. Okay, it says connect to DB, 3 rows, inserted, and connection closed. So we just open and close the connection 1 time, not 3 times. And let's see what we have inside our database. As you can see, we have ID 5, 6, 7, Ali Reza, and Maryam. We have a couple of issues here for our data, so it's not important right now. So this is the way that you can do some operations over a list, insert a statement over a list, not just insert them one by one, using executemany, not execute. Execute is used for one item or one SQL statement, and insert many or executemany is used for inserting a couple of items at one time. So this is the 2 different ways that we can insert data into a table. Now we provide some data, and in the next section we're going to see how we can fetch data from a table. So we need to query over a table and retrieve data and show it inside the console or on a GUI application. So I hope you enjoy the content of this session, and till next session, goodbye.